Hello guys and welcome back to Survivor Guatemala, and this is the last episode of the series for reals this time. We've still got a ranking to do, but this is the last reaction of the series, and then we're heading on to Panama starting next week-ish. So, without much further ado, shall we get into the reunion? Because I have been clamoring for people to find out or to just talk about the fact that Gary is a pro NFL, or used to be a pro NFL footballer. I'm very excited for this. I'm very, very excited for this indeed. And obviously, I'm excited to hear about people's thoughts and feelings surrounding Danny and Stephanie, the top two. Let's be honest, it's going to be chaotic and crazy. So let's get going, shall we?
Welcome to the Survivor Guatemala reunion show. We have all 18 of the folks from Survivor Guatemala.
That was a little bit of a fumble, Jeff. That was a little bit of fumble. I thought you'd be better than that. Welcome back to the Survivor talk show. Yeah. Oh, I would have been like, can we go live again? Can we cut transmission and we'll just do it again? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
On day 31, you pay $200 for that. It saves you from getting voted out. 8 days later, it's $1 million. That, with my math, that's a 500,000% return on investment.
You know what? When you put it like that, that is absolutely crazy. The fact that she paid for that little boost and it won her immunity and saved her game that episode, sensational. Genuinely. There's so much to appreciate about Danny's game that I feel like I didn't necessarily appreciate at the time. I think she downplayed so much of her game that it seemed like a bad game, but it actually wasn't, and she did do a good job. It's hard when you come in and the numbers are against you during the merge and you still make it to the top two. That has to be rewarded.
What was the best move you made strategically?
Probably at the end with Rafe, strategically getting him out at the end.
If I'm 100% honest, I really do believe that your best move in the game was getting rid of Judd. Because if they hadn't have turned on Judd there, I think things would have got a lot messier down the line. Because Judd was not wavering from that tight alliance. And you managed to get in with the people who would waver and get him out of there, so that loyalty was gone. That was a very, very good move on your part, and I don't feel like you even fully appreciate that.
I started thinking about them because if I came back and I had made that move, they would have killed me. I mean,
I would have been buried under the patio. They would have actually killed me. They would have been like, what were you doing? What were you thinking? I can't believe you'd do that. That was such a silly move. I still think that she wins against Rafe. I feel like there's enough of the jury that would be pissed off with Rafe in a similar way to Stephanie that Danny would still get the votes to win. But I think it would have been a little bit closer. It wouldn't quite have been a 6-1 split. It probably would have been maybe like a 5-2, 4-3 kind of split. But I think Danny still would have won.
Proud of every decision. I made some hard decisions to get people out, and you know, I was proud of it at the end, and I didn't want to on day 38 throw that away.
You know what? I appreciate that from Rafe. He said that he got to that moment, I'm proud of the decisions I make. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking, yeah, I have done everything that I possibly can to get here and I'm still happy with how I played the game, and then you feel bad about a move that could be made, it's a tough one, especially when you're that close. I said this in the previous episode. I was like, is it better to have the decision taken out of your hands or to be the one making the decision? Because either way, it's just a tragic decision that's happening, either for you or by you. And neither is a good situation to be in.
I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to try to win it. I think people did underestimate me the whole game out here, and I used it to my advantage.
I mean, I'm not being funny, Rafe. In the second episode, you struggled to pull yourself up in that spiderweb challenge. So immediately I was like, yeah, this guy is not going very far. And he made it all the way to top 3 with 4 individual immunity wins. That's absolutely insane.
You know, I was here as a provider, and I think I did my job well, providing everybody food, my vote, water, a clean camp, and a smile.
And that is why Lydia is my fave. She was just so lovely. She was like, yeah, fuck those challenges. I was never going to win any of them. But what I did provide was comfort, security, and my vote. Most importantly, I was willing to give my vote away. And that is definitely an important part of this. And she was kind. She was nurturing. She was lovely. There were so many moments where she lifted spirits with her silly dancing and her just immense over enjoyment for things. It just lifted spirits so often. So I have to give her credit where credit's due. She was absolutely sensational.
You were sort of the sweetheart, and everybody loved Stephanie and how she played. Well, that's hard. That expectation is hard to live up to a second time. Did it go through your head, I might be risking the way people see me if I play a tougher game?
Okay, here's my opinion on this. Stephanie played a tougher game this time and definitely came across as more of a villain this time. However, would I say that she's a villain? No. Would I say that she did villainous things? Yeah. I feel like backstabbing certain members of her alliance was particularly villainous, but I wouldn't say that she is a villain. I would say that what I saw was a person who knew that she played it wrong the first time, as in like in the previous Palau, and she was like, I'm not making those same mistakes again, and I appreciated that. So last time, Stephanie's issue was her challenges, right? She couldn't win those challenges as a team, individually. Her social game was actually quite good. She had a good social game last time. She made it all the way to the end in her initial alliance, in her initial tribe, sorry. Then she made it decently far in that tight alliance that had been together since day one and was even being considered to be taken even further. So she had a good social game. This time, I think she focused too much on having a good alliance to take her to the end, but not a good social game, and also concentrating on winning those challenges to secure her place in the game. So I feel like she just needs to sort out that social game part now, and she could end up doing really, really well in season 50. I know she doesn't do particularly well in Heroes vs Villains. I don't know where she places, but I've heard she doesn't do great. And that's because she mentioned it in Traitors, I think. That, like, the last time she played, she didn't do very well. I'm just a little bit concerned that season 50, it's going to be a hot mess. I could already tell it's going to be a hot mess. And it's just going to be a hot mess because people's favourites are going to go home early. And people who people don't like are going to make it much further. It's going to be crazy. I will be very interested to see how that plays out. But I don't think she became unlikable this time. I think she just played a tougher game. I can't take that away from her. Do you know what I mean? I can't judge her for that. Because if I'd have played the game the first time, played it nicey, didn't get me very far, I'm going to come in and be a little bit more brutal this time.
Their best strategy was probably to take me to the end because they're definitely going to win against me. But at the same time, Rafe and I played the same game.
I think that's another big deciding factor, and it's something that I personally think is bullshit. If you have a second chance in the game and you make it to the end, that shouldn't count against you. You shouldn't just give the win to the other person because, oh, this is their second time playing. I always find that such a frustrating way of looking at it. Like, it just doesn't matter if it's their second time, if it's their first time. Like, it shouldn't matter. How well did they play the game this time? That's what truly matters.
It was, people were looking up to her. She was on TV for how long in the previous season? And there's no doubt that there were some people that were really, really glad she was there.
I think that's another interesting thing because going into a series, if it's your second go, you're immediately thinking, I'm getting voted out first. But the people who are on that season are looking at you and going, wait, you're this person that I've been watching on TV. That's actually quite cool. I want to get to know you and I want to find out whether you're actually the same. And then when you realise, oh yeah, you actually are, then it's nice to go from there. It's the same reason why Sari did really well in Big Brother, because people liked her. Sari is a nice, likeable person. And when she went into the Big Brother house, immediately I was like, they know she's a strategical mastermind, but she still made 5th place because she had good connections and people liked her. They wanted to keep her around. And it wasn't until something ridiculous like week 10, week 11, when she finally got put up on that block. It's actually crazy to me that that happened because I really expected her to go very early on in the game.
46 challenges you took part in. You won 10, you lost 36 times.
She only won 10 challenges out of 46 across 2 seasons. That is insane. That's actually mental. That's mind-boggling. Wow. Jesus Christ. Poor Stephanie. No wonder she was playing so hard this time. She was like, I've got to get that count up, please.
Do they recognize you and what's their take on how you play?
Yeah, no, they look at me and they said, holy cow, that's the big fat dude from Survivor.
Oh no. I don't even think he's that fat. He's not fat at all. He's just built. That's all it is. I think it's nice to hear that him and Stephanie, they're chill now. It's not mental. It's no one hates each other. Like, they might not be busy mates, but the vibe is okay between them. It's nice to hear that.
One thing I have to clear up, Judd. You did lie in this game.
Yes, Jeff. Yes, he did lie in this game, and I will not hear him deny this. Oh, that was so funny. That was like the funniest recurring joke of the entire series, was Judd being like, I've never lied in this game, when he had so many times.
The night before I lied, I kind of had a big party. And, you know, it was still a little going into the next day.
If you think you can just work and be nice and be sweet and go through this game and not get voted out, that's not going to happen.
What was it you said just now?
What he just said is exactly what Lydia was like, yeah, that's how I played the game. And she made 4th and you played 9th. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Bobby John? Maybe you don't have a grip on this game. Maybe you don't.
I have to say, watching you two guys from the South go at it was, I mean, sometimes it was heated, but it was always entertaining.
Listen, as much as I disliked Jamie and I hated the sort of vibe between them, it was entertaining. And I did like the fact that there was drama on this series, especially between those two. Like, sometimes you can watch a series of Survivor and there's no drama and you just sit there like, okay, well, this is entertaining, I guess. But this added like an extra element of like, ooh, we've got some villains up in here doing villainous things. Ooh.
I heard there was a vote tonight. I almost didn't come. A little paranoid. Promise you won't vote for me?
Okay, do you know what, Jamie? You're forgiven. You're forgiven because you're actually quite funny. Clearly, it was just the paranoia of the game getting to you. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
I wouldn't have recognized him if it hadn't been for growing up with 7 brothers and a dad who's a Cowboys fan. Just seeing pictures around of him, because when we were at casting for the show, I was like, he looks familiar.
So effectively, she clocked him at the casting call, and then she got in the game and she was like, oh, it is this guy after all. It is this guy. He ain't no landscaper. So it wasn't because of her job. She actually did some research and was like, wait, I recognize this guy. Why do I recognize this guy? And yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That makes a lot more sense than her just randomly knowing who this guy is who played like 20 years ago.
And then you finally find out what was the reaction. Did you call Gary? What happened?
Oh, you have no idea. I wanted to beat him down, baby.
Do you know what? I think Gary and Amy were such an underrated duo in this series. I found them so entertaining. Amy, genuinely one of the funniest people on the show. Every single time she opened her mouth, had me cracking up. And the fact that she was like, if I find out that this is a lie, I'm going to hunt you down and kill you. That was really funny.
Every time I go to lock up a bad guy, they're like, hey, weren't you on Survivor? I'm like, listen, buddy, you're under arrest.
Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Every single story is hilarious. Imagine this woman rocking up to arrest you. You'd be like, oh, it's you. Yeah, I'm here to arrest you, bitch.
You enjoyed this so much. You still wish, is this true that you still wish you were living in the jungles of Guatemala?
Yeah, just a little bit nuts. I mean, listen, I could hack more than like a night or 2 out there. But 36 days, I think she made it. And she's still wanting to be out there? Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That's a month and a half. Nah, no, it's not a month and a half. It's a month and 6 days. I have no clue, no concept of time.
And you actually lost your job to be on this show when you went for your first meeting with us.
I did lose my job, and that was my other home.
Damn, so she sacrificed her job at the zoo just to go on Survivor. That's actually really sad to hear. I hope some other zoo snapped her up, because you can tell that she has an immense love for her job. And, I mean, might get more people coming to the zoo, you never know.
And I'm going back with Brian Corden, and we're leading a group of university students to help in the relief effort. After we left Guatemala, the mudslides devastated them and buried hundreds of people alive. So
damn, that's actually really nice to hear that Margaret and Brian are going back to do some relief work. That's really, really impressive, actually. That's really great of them. Really, really happy about that. They both seemed like such lovely people, and such selfless people as well. So this doesn't surprise me in the slightest, but it is nice to hear.
No doubt about living in those Mayan ruins. I'd do the whole thing again just to do that, just to live where people, haven't lived for 3,000 years. But the arm's doing good, and I'm going to Disneyland. So.
Do you know what? I feel really bad for Jim. I feel like he got kicked out because he had the injury. I don't think he would have got kicked out if he didn't have the injury. I feel like they would have gone for somebody else. But very sadly, weakest member of the team. What are you going to do at the end of the day? What are you going to do?
I think Jamie, Judd, and Stephanie just said, oh, lost girl's got to go. She's not the athletic one, so we're going to get her out of here.
I gotta be 100% honest. I do not remember Brooke at all. I physically cannot remember her in the slightest. So, yeah, I can't remember that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But you're seemingly irrelevant, I can't lie.
Each week, at least one castaway will be banished to this desolate place, separated from their tribe mates for days at a time.
So, this is basically what they did with, was it Janu in season 10, Palau? Where they just sent her away for a night and were like, yeah, be gone. And she had that massive existential crisis and had like a physical and mental rehabilitation by just dancing in the sand. That was quite fun. But they're now making an entire season twist out of it. Okay, interesting. I don't know how it's going to work, so I'm going to hold off on judgment about how it works. But you guys have all hyped up season 12, so I'm assuming it works well. So I'm excited.
And though this island will be a place to be feared, something hidden within its rocky shores may be the key to $1 million.
So I'm assuming on Exile Island, there's immunity idols, right? That would be logical to think, right? That would be smart. Because it would give an advantage to the person that gets exiled without the rest of the tribe necessarily knowing that happens. Right, guys, that was the last episode in Guatemala. We will be back with Panama very, very shortly, so make sure to look out for that in the coming weeks. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We've now done 8, 9, 10, 11. We've done 4 seasons and we've done 48. So we've done 5 seasons of Survivor within a year. If you're still here and you're still interested, here is my plan for the rest of the year. I'm planning to hopefully be done with at least seasons 12, 13, and 14, and season 49 by the end of the year. So hopefully I can get all of that in. Obviously it is subject to timings and things like that, but hopefully that will happen. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And I will see you guys in the next episode, whenever that may be. But until then, make sure to keep on ranting. And I'll see you guys later. Bye now. See ya.